Hey guys, good morning. It's Tony. First of the video, I want to say please like, subscribe, and comments. If you want to join the Patreon, you can join at patreon.com/but I'm not a trader. So I released a video maybe like a week back about what I would do in the scenario of me actually holding any kind of crypto, because I'm not holding anything, right? I don't really care too much about crypto right now. I basically told you guys that when we hit this $1.9 trillion market cap, it's essentially been a really good indication of when to potentially start selling off all of your Bitcoin, crypto, etc., whatever, right? So the way that I would take profit, right, was as soon as you hit 1.9, you take out 80% of your crypto, right? And then I go on to say that if we break this 2 trillion market cap at any point, right, you hit 2 trillion, 2.01 trillion, you immediately buy back in and you hold this thing all the way to at least 2.4 trillion. And that's exactly what happened, right? So we basically broke, the sell would have been at 1.9 trillion. You would have probably bought here. As soon as we hit 2.02 trillion and closed, I would have said, put all your funds back in. I would have done that personally, right? And then you hold this to 2.4 trillion. And I think there's a 99% chance we keep running to 2.4 trillion. So I do think that Bitcoin and the overall market, crypto market, does have a little bit more room to grow, right? And this is essentially how you can actually cater your take profit, right? This is a strategy I built, a couple of years ago where, when I was holding a bunch of crypto, that's basically how I would sell it off, right? We would hit 2.4 trillion, right? And if you crossed above that 2.5 trillion market cap, you buy in, because the next level would be 2.8 trillion. That's like a 90% chance of it actually getting hit, right? So here, you can see some obvious resistance at all these levels. So let's go to the month. There we go. Right? So you can see that every single time we top off, you're topping out at these, at these psych levels of, 2.4, 2.5 trillion, 2.9, $3 trillion, right? So again, it's a good enough, strategy where you're not left holding bags, right? And that's what people don't want. People don't want to be left holding bags for the next 5-6 years until the next recovery, right? So as of right now, again, this is not what you should do. This is just what I would do. So, if I were to take profit, you're basically writing it from 2 trillion market cap to 2.5. So you're looking at, pretty nice, 20-30% gains overall and everything, or whatever the actual gain on the crypto is. But, any time we actually start breaking this, then it's always, in my opinion, a good time to take profit from some of your, your bags, right? So if you hit 2.4 trillion, it's a good time to sell off a little bit of a bag, right? If you break this 2.5 trillion market cap, like 90% chance you keep pushing to the next cycle levels of the total market cap overall, right? So last time we peaked at 3 trillion bucks, right? Do I think we're headed there? I have no idea. We still haven't had the halving yet of Bitcoin, right? So I do think that as of right now, we're still pretty bullish towards the upside, right? As soon as this 2 trillion broke, I was like, yeah, we're going to 2.4. Very, very simple, very easy strategy to remember. Highly recommend you guys go to the total market cap on TradingView. Look at this chart, set up your levels, set up alerts, and so that way you know exactly when all this thing hits. So again, I do think the overall market cap is going to keep going up. I think minimum we hit 2.4 trillion, right? Which is a very good place to take profit on your crypto. If you break 2.5, really good chance that we keep pushing up, because again, we are in that initial push towards the upside, right? What happened last time? Pushed above, kept pushing, right? Got rejected at 2.5, came all the way back down to 1.4, and then you recovered. You came all the way back to 3 trillion, and then you essentially sold off again, right? So every single time, right, you were to hit this 2.4, 2.8, 2.9, right? Essentially $1 billion under that trillion cap, you would have sold off essentially at the top every single time. And if you were to get back in on the, above the close of the 2 trillion, 2.5 trillion, 3 trillion, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, you would have essentially timed this perfectly, right? So again, just not necessarily a recommendation, but just something to be aware of, right? If you want to sell your bags, or at least part of it, start selling them when you hit that next 2.4 trillion market cap, right? And then also, if you break to the upside, right? Because this is the initial pump, right? If you break to the upside, 2.5, right? Chances are you're gonna keep going up to 2.9 trillion, then 3 trillion, right? So again, up here, if you hit 3 trillion again, which is these all-time highs, that means that you should have probably already sold something at 2.9 trillion. If you break this, get back in and ride this to 3.4 and then sell off a little bit, right? And then if we come back over here, just buy all over again. But again, you're either holding or you're selling, but this is a really good way of telling when we're actually gonna peak out. So I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.